morning, everyone. Nice to see you joining this morning. Glad to be here with you. Yeah, great to see everyone. So happy to be here this morning on this Thursday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino. So happy to be here with you to share ideas and just walk this road of mindfulness together. So just a few things about our session this morning. Anybody that's new that has never joined before, we'll start the day out with a question. I'll put a question in the chat and then just share a few minutes on a theme and then go right into at least a 12-minute guided practice. Actually, a mixture of guidance and silent time. So, and then after that, we'll have time for Q&A. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom screen, open up your chat, and then when you see that chat, you'll notice the hosts and panelists. You can click on that blue drop-down menu, and you can change that to everyone. And then everyone can see your comments. So welcome to everyone if you've just joined. So nice to have you here. And let's just check in and just settle our bodies, settle our minds for a minute as it's taken us some time an effort to join this morning. All right, and as I mentioned, I have a question for the group. Because it's February and we think of that as both Black History Month as well as Heart Month. I'm going to be focusing a little bit on the heart. Excuse me. And interestingly enough, when you think about meditation and the head versus the heart, it's a very interesting distinction. Many times when we meditate, we tend to get into our thoughts and easily get lost in our thoughts. But may find that if we go to different parts of our body, we might find a little bit of ease and contentment there. So just in our general lives, I have a question for everyone. When was there a time when you followed your heart versus your head with positive results, or that it worked? You felt that it was a good decision. So when was a time when you followed your heart versus your head that you feel like something positive came out of it? Type in the chat anytime you think of anything. What came up for me was when I was in a parking lot and I had cleared everything. I was backing out and someone backed out and really backed right into me. Was distracted, wasn't paying attention. And I didn't hear a big tap, but I heard, I heard some kind of a impact. And the woman was just very flustered and very apologetic. And you could see there was no damage. And I just felt like, it's fine. No worries. We don't have to exchange information, nothing. I just felt like, that this was her day to get a break. So that was something that resonated with me. Loretta, you mentioned always making time for my kids and my husband. Yeah. I mean, it isn't, sometimes we feel work pulling our us in other directions, or we feel other obligations pulling us in other directions. Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it, Elisa. I call. Excuse me. Canceled the multi-week trip to Europe the day I met the man who I have become my husband. Just needed to make room for him in my life. That was just the best thing ever. Yeah, even when your head says to do other things, your head says to do other things besides be with your husband and your kids. It's felt good once to let the heart make a decision, but later, sometimes years later, you realize you should have followed the head. Interesting. When making a decision to leave a job, it was only for a year to move to a role that felt more heart-centered, though it paid less. My head and others were telling me to stay, and I was giving it more time. My heart told me to go. What a lovely feeling that must be, to have that under your belt and just feel like you went with what made sense. Yeah, and it really is hard to make those decisions when money's involved. It really is. Job choices when I was younger would change careers based on my heart and led to some pretty great experiences. Now I wouldn't dare. Good thing you did it when you had the flexibility, and we don't realize how much flexibility we have. Retiring from full-time employment a year before I had planned. Yes, I know that's a challenge. Being kind and empathetic to a young mother who crashed into me while I was at a red light. Yes, she was clearly so flustered. My heart told me she needed compassion. Definitely. Leading your church youth group. Yes, my heart said to take it on. That's wonderful. Yeah, sometimes we feel like, what are we doing? What are we taking on? How much are we taking over, and have, sometimes you just have to learn as you go. My head is more conservative and restrained. My heart is the wilder one. Well, it's all a balance, isn't it? It really is a balance of just checking in. And sometimes the pressure of the heart really does, we come to realize that is really important. And related to meditation, it's interesting because we have so much of an over-reliance on intellect especially in our country. And many of us mistake the aim of meditation as training for a more focused mind, a quieter mind, and that will make us smarter and better at our work. And it's really about putting the control down. It's about surrendering. And while the mind can excel at making distinctions, and the heart does the opposite, and it can keep us making healthy decisions for our own happiness. So as difficult as it may seem to want to put down the intellect and view our meditation as really a practice of not so much doing, but as relinquishing, it really is important. And I've mentioned in some other meditations that sometimes it's even if I'm really feeling like I can't calm down, or like can't get the thoughts out of my mind, I just kind of put my hand to my heart, because I think our heart is always a good place to land when we need to rest and be with our true value, our true nature. And I think of a friend who connects with a particular mission every time she sees a time on a clock, a particular like 12:34, that she connects with what she's written down as her particular life's mission. And how lovely that is to stop and say, okay, I just see this time on a clock. Sometimes we see a regular time on a clock, but that we can connect with what's really valuable to us and how that can be very nurturing. So let's meditate. So just finding a comfortable position after a little bit of a stretch. If you've been sitting at your computer for a little while, it might be good to to stretch out some muscles. And just adjust your spine so your body feels almost expansive, not collapsed, but so that your heart can be open and it can expand. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And maybe take a couple deep, slow breaths at your own pace. And now just letting our breathing return to normal. And see if we can release any particular tension in the body. Maybe just doing a quick sweep of the body and noticing, wow, my lower back might just need a little change in posture, or my neck, but also just using the out breath to say, okay, my shoulders are tense. Let's just breathe in and then release our shoulders as we breathe out. Sometimes the tension in the body can be a signal that there's a tension in the mind. So just connecting with that and noticing if there's any area of the body that needs to be released. Just releasing the hips into the seat. It's really an act of love that we care for our body in this way. Relaxing your belly, softening that area. Relaxing the chest. Feel the heart just softening and opening. And each time we breathe, you might even picture this amazing oxygen coming into our system, and that we're opening up our heart to breathe in through the lungs and bringing into the heart that oxygen. And just choosing an anchor for our wandering mind this morning. And that can be anything. It could be coming back to the breath if we find our thoughts take us away. And If that's not comfortable for us, we can come back to the feeling of the body touching the seat, or even any sounds in the background and consistent sound in the room. I'll be silent for a few moments here so that we can connect with whatever is our anchor as we return and open up our heart to what is most important for us right now. If we've noticed we've gotten distracted and our thoughts come in, that's all part of the process. That happens, we notice. That's a moment of mindfulness. We come back to our anchor, either our breath sensation, body sensation, or sound. You're doing it right. Maybe just breathing in that memory of when you were able to work or move forward with your heart versus your head, and what a gift that is to you, to all of us. As much as we can, just continue to connect with the heart versus the thoughts. And if our thoughts come in, maybe just coming back to our deepest intentions for ourselves. As we head towards the end of our meditation together this morning, I'd like to share a poem by Thich Nhat Hanh on awareness. He said, "Around us, life bursts forth with miracles. A glass of water, a ray of sunshine, a leaf, a caterpillar, a flower, child's laughter, raindrops. If you live in awareness, it's easy to see miracles everywhere. Each human being is a multiplicity of miracles. Eyes that see thousands of colors, shapes, and forms. Ears that hear a bee flying or a thunderclap. A brain that ponders a speck of dust as easily as the entire cosmos. A heart that beats in rhythm with the heartbeat of all things." As you're ready, as we're concluding the meditation, if your eyes were closed, if you can open up your eyes and rejoin the group. Thank you for meditating with me. Thank you for being together as a community this morning. Reading what Karen said, yeah, so true. Some of those biggest decisions, how do we really even know exactly? Did we decide from the heart or the head? But you feel like you did the right thing, and that your heart was involved so that everything worked out. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Karen. Oh, yeah, Sheila, you're going to volunteer at the Eagle Scouts tonight. Okay. All right. Well, you made that decision from your heart, and I think you're going to have a wonderful time. Sounds like a lot of fun to be with your son. So glad it brought you in that direction. Well, again, it's nice to be here with everyone this morning. And we will be back here on Tuesday. Kel Juilliard will be back with us. It seems like ages since he's been with us. So really look forward to seeing him. And I hope everyone has a good end of their week, rest of their week and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Yeah. Following our hearts makes us do more good deeds. Yeah, our inner voice. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, it's great to be with you all, and I'll see you soon. Have a good weekend.